look at the order of service. This I'm gonna ask, yeah, and this is property, and then after that.
If there's anything better than
She's wise beyond years. Oh, she's 16, she's 17,
if there's anything better than if there's anything better than if there's anything better,
thinking about the children that are gone but not forgotten, and the buffalo all restless underneath. Thinking about the children that are gone but not forgotten, and the buffalo all restless underneath. inches long.
Hello, hello. Come, seeker, come, traveler, come, all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come, come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It's good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning, I'm Lori McGill, and I'm a member of the Committee on Shared Ministry. And I'd like to welcome you to this church where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new to us, please fill out a blue visitor card and drop it in the offering basket so we can share information about our activities and help you find what nourishes your spirit here. You'll also find note cards in your pew for writing down joys and sorrows to add to our pastoral prayer. We pass an additional basket alongside the offering. Together these, write your name or leave your joy or sorrow anonymous. You can also write do not share if you have a need to share with the minister but do not want it spoken aloud in prayer. We have many activities and events happening each week in the congregation and community. Good handful that came out in the newsletter this week, and let me share a few that are coming up soon. Today, Camille Fertney is going to be performing at 2 o'clock with the Capitol Chorale Singers at St. Mark's for their 75th anniversary, so go help them celebrate. We have our 4th Friday Drum Circle next Friday. Community Fair next Sunday. You can join us and speak with all of us that are members of the different communities about how you can become more involved in the church. Audrey Bunton and Wes Harvey's open house is May 5th after services at 3 p.m. Help them celebrate the renovation of their home. And finally, just a reminder about the OWL program being open for K through 12 and 7th through 8th graders this year. So again, there's a link to sign up in our weekly newsletter. And then I'm going to invite Carol Jean to come up and share information about our Share the Plate partner this week, Bethel Ministries.
We gather in person and on Zoom each week. Here we gather our resources to sustain the work of this church and to share our abundance with community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in your order of service or use your Realm app for electronic giving, or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the basket in a few moments as they pass. Our Share the Plate organization for this month is Bethel Outreach Ministries. And I'm here to share a little bit of information about Bethel Outreach Ministries. They're a faith-based nonprofit organization that focuses on reentry support to rebuild reentry support for recently discharged inmates from a variety of penal institutions in the state of Wyoming. They work to support and assist those trying to rebuild and restore their lives after experiencing incarceration. They offer a wide array of support services ranging from housing assistance, providing financial support with rent or damage deposits, job resumes, obtaining IDs and GED. They also provide mentoring programs and budget classes while helping make the recipients make the most of financial resources that are available to them. So give generously, and we thank you.
And so, with deep gratitude for the beauty of this music, with our guest musician, Laura Fowler, and Chris Golden, we gratefully receive this morning's offering. Collect yourself here, your stardust heart and soil-dipped toes. Collect your river-twisting veins and sky-seeking eyes. Forget your stories of separation from the earth, from life, from your breath, from all the others breathing here and everywhere. Hold in your pulse the sounds of the chickadee and the flicker, the smell of ponderosa pine and the ache of the wind. Rest in the courage of the ancestors, the longing of the future, the steady truth of here and now. In this place, we are healing and heeding a call to remember ourselves indivisible and indispensable. Here we remember we need all of us to make it, to make a new day, a new creation, to begin again after the planting and the tilling, the waiting, and the weeding. The harvest comes. So come and let us worship together. For our opening hymn, I invite you to open your gray hymnals to number 134, Our World is One World, as we rise in body or in spirit to sing together. If we have any hymn leaders who would like to help us in singing, you are graciously invited to come forward as well. Our world is one world. What touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. What does he think affect us all? The way we build our attitudes with faith, or how we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts
Each week, oh, by the way, these words are from Baba Dioum. Each week, when we gather, we light our chalice, just as 1,000 other congregations do across the land. It is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist past, present, and future. It is a visible reminder of our interconnection. Today, churches all along the Front Range in Colorado and around the country are lighting their chalices and beginning their worship with these words. Ecologist Baba Dioum writes, "In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand. And we will understand only what we are taught." We gather today to celebrate Earth Day tomorrow and acknowledge our deep love for Earth and our passionate desire that all species thrive. And now, if the young or young at heart would like to join us up on the chancel, at this time we invite you to share the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before our time for all ages. And the words of our covenant may be found in the order of your service for those who don't have it memorized yet.
Make sure we can hear me. Thank you. Can you all hear me as well now? All right, so let's start. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others. All right, so we can have a seat. Today, we are talking about a musician named Pete Seeger. It looks like Jenkins has decided he'd like to come up. Yay. Thank you. Yeah, would you like to hold Jenkins for us? Thank you. And if anybody feels like they would like to bring a stuffed animal forward, you are always welcome. The owl, the frog. We've got all sorts of little guys who love to help us out with our stories. So today we are talking about a musician who some of you all out there might know, Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger, as it turns out, was a Unitarian Universalist in his spare time. But more importantly, Pete Seeger did a lot of work for community and even for the wider community of our plants and animals and rivers and oceans. And so it happens that in 1969, a group of people built an old-fashioned sailing ship and named it the Clearwater. Its decks were made of wood. It was 100 feet long, at least as long as our sanctuary, and 25 feet wide. Its hull and railings were painted green, and its decks were brown. A great mainmast lifted 100 feet overhead. The mainsail, when it filled with wind, was 3,000 square feet, bigger than a house. In the hold, it had a tiny little kitchen and bunk beds for the crew. It was beautiful, and it is beautiful. You see, the Clearwater still sails on the Hudson River from where it meets the sea down in New York City, winding all the way up in New York State. Building a ship takes a lot of work, but the Clearwater started with the hope of one person, the folk singer and Unitarian Universalist, Pete Seeger. He lived next to the Hudson River, where he had for many years. But it wasn't boats that Pete fell in love with. He loved the river that the boat sailed upon. When Pete first moved there, years back, trees grew along the bank, otters slid down the muddy slopes into the water, and fish swam all through the river. Birds nested in those trees on the bank, and the Hudson was a living river. Pete loved it. It brought him joy and peace. You might think of a place outdoors that brings you joy and peace. But as the years went by, people cut down those trees and put up oil tanks. They dumped old cars on the banks of the river and made a junk heap right across the river from Pete's house. People built factories up and down the banks and dumped chemicals right into the river. After a while, with all that garbage, those chemicals, the water got so dirty that fish couldn't live. With the fish gone, the otters had nothing to eat. With the trees gone and the fish gone, the birds had nowhere to nest and nothing to eat, even if they would. The Hudson wasn't a living river anymore. It was barely even alive. But Pete knew that the river didn't have to stay dead. He fell in love with what was possible and set to work. Now, cleaning a whole river is a huge, massive amount of effort. Pete knew he couldn't do it by himself. But he also knew that if other people loved the river like he did, they would get to work too. So he decided to build a great big sailing ship, just like those that had sailed on the Hudson centuries ago, back when the river was clean, to show people all that the river could be again. He wanted to inspire people about what was possible, and so he made something beautiful, his boat. Because when one person has a good idea to make the world a better place, the most important thing they can do is to not do it alone. So Pete asked for help. He wrote letters, he talked to people, he sang just as he had done all his life. To raise money, he sang at campouts and colleges and temples and churches, and thousands of people sent money to help. And in July of 1969, the Clearwater slipped into the water, and her sails caught the breeze, flying like a gull on a whisper of wind. And the next year, on the very first Earth Day that ever happened, the Clearwater helped to teach people how to keep our land and our water clean and clear. People do. But Clearwater is more than a ship. She's a school, and 10,000 people go on board every year to learn about the fish and the grass and all the things that grow and all of what a living river means. Yeah. Teenagers who crew the Clearwater get to hoist the sails and tie the ropes and also scrub the decks. While they sleep aboard the ship, they often sing songs like sailors do, or like Pete Seeger. And they remember what the river used to be and fall in love with its future. The Hudson is cleaner now. not as clean as it was hundreds of years ago, not as clean as it could be, but every day, more people imagine that river made whole again and work on it. Because that's our job, to dream of the world that we want and get to work, to make the land, the air, the water clean and fresh and clear. Together, I think we can do it. So if you'll remember whatever that place was that made you feel so calm, so loving about the outdoors, right at the beginning of our song, of our story. As we go back to our seats, let's think about how we might protect and keep clean the places that we love. Thank you all for sharing in this time together. And if you want to hang on to your animals and help them watch the rest of the service and be a part of it, you can. Or they can go back in their special seating spot. Just And now, if you'll join me in a spirit of prayer, spirit of life, spirit of love, we gather each week to be with one another, to be a support to one another and a comfort in hard times, to celebrate the joys in life, to dwell together in the mystery and wonder of this magnificent and ever-changing life. So today we offer many thoughts of our community. We share in the joy of Sandy Galkey's recent 80th birthday. This Friday, Lori McGill's mother, Sandy, celebrated. And on Saturday, Margot and Matt, Sharon and Mike and Lori all came together to serve 57 guests at the Komea dinner party. Such things are a joy for all who participate. We offer our deep care for all who are facing health issues, for the dog who's getting surgery. Is that the Sandoval's? I think. And our hopes for a swift recovery. Addie is concerned about her great-aunt Barbara, hoping we can send positive thoughts. We send warm thoughts to Danny Rossler, who is still in the hospital and welcomes visits from anyone who would like to see her. We offer our concern and care. Annalise Todd is in the ICU today, so may we send love and healing energies and our deepest love. For all these and more, for those who are preparing for planned surgeries as well. We offer our care, our hopes for healing. And today, as we hold room in our hearts for the joys unshared and the sorrows too tender to be spoken aloud, today we will join in songful prayer, taught and led by Audrey Bunton, a meditative hymn of gratitude for the earth and for all being.
All right, so your lyrics are in the inset in your order of service. And just to give you a little background, I came up with this on a nature walk. And I have original lyrics that came to me. And because we're Unitarian Universalists and we like options, you have options. So I originally sang it with the gods, but if you prefer God or the guides, or my guides, you can sing that instead. Also, I thought of angels, but if angels don't appeal to you, maybe ancients would be what you would prefer to sing. And then similarly, toward the very end, there's either the way or my way, okay? So I will sing it in whole first, or line by line. What do you guys want?
Let's go
Whole and then line by line together, okay. I give thanks to the spirits of this place, to the gods and the angels and the saints. I give thanks for the birds that sing, and for all those on the wing. I give thanks for the plants that are growing, and for the sky now glowing. I give thanks for all upon the earth. All have dignity and worth. I give thanks for this beautiful day, and for showing me my way. Right. Ready to everybody join in with whichever words you want in there? Okay. I give thanks to the spirits of this place, to the gods and the angels and the saints. I give thanks for the birds that sing, and for all those on the wing. I give thanks to the plants that are growing, and to the sky now glowing. I give thanks for all upon this earth. All have dignity and worth. I give thanks for this beautiful day, and for showing me my way.
And so, today, we join together in shared worship and in honoring the ways, the many ways that we live and learn and love upon this earth. In 2018, the Unitarian Universalist Common Read was Justice on Earth. And the Reverend Adam Robersmith wrote of a vital need to avoid despair in environmental justice work, reminding us of the Universalist Hosea Ballou, his teaching that we should not make change because of fear of some hellish future, lest we link acting faithfully to our fear rather than our love. Instead, our faith calls us to make change because it is the right and loving thing to do now, to respond from love in love. So as we move toward the world we dream and hope for, a shared anger at the present state of all things will not be enough to save us. Despair will not transform the world. Resentment at our senses of powerlessness may flicker and fade out in darkness. Even optimism will not be enough, for hopes unrealized quickly sour. Only love is strong enough to bear us into the future. Only a profound falling in love with the world we dream of can give us the energy, the power, the resilience, the joy that we need to make the work of building the future, the work of our lives. So for this Earth Day, Unitarian Universalist ministers all along the Front Range of Colorado and Wyoming, joined by others around the country, have written love letters to the future. Today we'll share a few of those with you, including my own. And I hope that you will take the time to write your own as well. As you listen to these letters, please feel encouraged, welcomed to take a note card from your pew and a pencil, and to begin letting your own spirit turn toward the parts of the earth that you love. To write a few notes, some lines of love and blessing. In a few minutes, we'll make space for you to continue writing and expanding your thoughts during a musical interlude as well. Our first love letter begins.
Innumerable stars, when I see you, really see you, finally and once again in all your knitted depth, I find myself barely able to breathe, barely able to do anything but breathe, only to sit and yearn for your whispered recognition. You glimmer outside my open window like some welcome succubus come to lure me into, out of, and back into my own body and home. Now that we have dimmed our cities, the light of your night body both calls me forth and presses me down to the path beneath my feet. You are my guide and medicine, lacquering the hips and dips of voluptuous geography as you seed lore into seasons and fields and verdant minds. My teacher, my ancestor, my heavenly body, you light my lover and the way to my lover. I cannot wait to see you again, to be reduced by awe in your Milky Way, to gasp you in, drink you, unafraid of darkness, filled and lit up once more. You were right about the beavers, by the way. Their midnight pools mirror your gaze and give it back to you just as they give the land back its saturation, its life. It beckons all the great and small to find one another by your blessing, and there to find themselves spiraled into another in imitation of your lusty dervish, making stars themselves, seeing galaxies with their eyes blissed shut. I am glad you told me to leave them be. I can't wait to see you again. I love you. I look to you and find my way. Yours, Reverend Ron Ferris.
Beloved prairie home, I write to you from this far remove of time, yet my very soul delights to see your loveliness unfolding. I long to wander your river valleys, wetting my toes in sandy streams that flow from mountains far away and off to oceans I may never see. To see your river running smooth and steady over and around the gravel bars where grebes and coots wander and herons rise from the shallow waters and children gather the left behind reminders of hickory nuts and black sand shells, now returned, their nacre shining in the summer sun. Your water flows clear between my legs while sturgeon swim calmly by, and Neosho, Mad Toms, and Topeka shiners dart in and out of side channels, fed by springs that flow once more. There along the banks rise cottonwoods of every age, the young ones just now rising, stems still green from this year's growth. And there the great old trees spread their shade, underneath which grow the walnut, oak, and hickory, standing strong against the winds, waiting to be harvested with care, making room for others to grow anew. I long to be held in the curves of your rolling hills, while blue stem rises high above my head, swaying in the breeze that smells faintly of new cut fields, promising rich mouthfuls for the family of life. My children's life, their children's lives. Hear the white-tailed deer bounding off into the distance. There, the bison that wander through this time of year, and then to climb to the highest places, looking off into the distance where windmills harvest the power of possibility, gently spinning all day long, while hawks ride currents invisible to our eyes, but known to all, the feathered ones, looking for their next meal. From this vision of you, there is no escape for me. Your voice sounds gently in my ears. Your touch lingers upon my arm. Your form fills all that is and all that will be, and I am grateful for it. It calls me on again and again until we make it real once more. Until that day comes, I hold you in my heart, my hands, and in the fullness of my days. The Reverend Eric Banner. And now, let us write, think, ponder through our centering music. my beloved Rocky Mountains. I think on your future, on your deep past, and I reach out to express my dearest love. For I was born at your feet. I live where I can barely see you on the horizon. But a slight stretching, and there you are, calmly awaiting my look, my touch, my willingness to come to you and reconnect our shared lives. You are my rock, literally. Your textured granite filled with bits of shining quartz was the playground of my childhood. Today, the fractured stone gives my weary bones a place of rest each time I am with you. A cradle, a lap in which to sit, where I am never too big for your comfort. I once worried for our relationship. In this changing climate, I wondered how your face might change with the melting of the ice, the violence of the storms. Yet storms have come and gone, carving new channels for your streams, and I understand your depth more fully. You are strong and resilient. I know that you will remain for generations beyond my lifespan. Changed, yet still magnificent. Your resilience challenges me to bring my own best self to our ever-changing days, to live out our cycles in faith that whether warm or cold today, you will be there for me all the days of my life. My dear sweet mountains, which grow the tiniest of strawberries in spring and the rose hips in fall, with all that you are. And I am grateful and hope to be a blessing in the moments that I live here upon you. In love, I wrote this letter to the earth, and in love, I have chosen to do my work in environmental organizing. In love, I plant my garden and smile in tender joy and to bring their blossoms forth in the spring. In love, this congregation has set up recycling and committed to partnerships with community organizations. And so, in continued love, I invite you to take action. I invite you to write, to keep writing, to bring completed love letters to the earth next Sunday, or leave them with us at the end of coffee hour for a shared display to honor the earth and celebrate our joy in it. I invite you to come and find me in coffee hour if you would like to plant trees on May 18th. Rooted in Cheyenne, has this concrete way of living out your love to the earth, in contact with the soil and the plants of this place. I invite you to keep being in the outdoors, to come to a shared worship experience in July to touch the rocks at Veda Vu and build a sacred altar upon this land. I invite you to go north in June to the University of Wyoming's BioBlitz, to see what biodiversity there is on the Wind River Reservation, tally it up and learn. I invite you in August to join UUs from all over Wyoming for a shared camping experience. And I invite you closer to home to get outside in the garden, to ask Birgette, Paul, or Steve Scott what you can do in this place. I invite you to get into your own backyard or front yard to plant something green. I invite you to walk around town and breathe the fresh air, sometimes crisp, sometimes warm. I invite you to lay down in the grass and roll around in it and not worry about looking silly, whatever your age. I invite you to fall in love again and again with this beautiful earth that we are upon, with the browns, the tans, the ephemeral greens of this arid landscape. I invite you this week, this month, and for all of your life to open your hearts and let yourself be blessed by creation.
Our closing reading is from On Another Panel About Climate, They Ask Me to Sell the Future, and All I've Got is a Love Poem by Aisha Siddiqa. Listen, what if the future is soft and revolution is so kind that there is no end to us in sight? Whole cities breathe and bad luck is bested by a promise to the leaves. To withstand your own end is difficult. The future frolics about, promised to no one, as is her right. Rage against injustice makes the voice grow harsher yet. If the future leaves without us, the silence that will follow will be an unspeakable nothing. What if we convince her to stay? How rare and beautiful is it that we exist? What if we stun existence one more time? When I wake up, get out of bed, my 7-year-old cousin with her ruptured belly tags along. Then follows my grandmother, aunts, my other cousins, and the violent shape of their drinking water. The earth remembers everything, but our bodies are the color of the earth, and we are nobodies. Been born from so many apocalypses, what's one more? Love is still the only revenge. It grows each time the earth is set on fire. But for what it's worth, I'd do this again. Gamble on humanity 100 times over. Commit to life unto life as the trees fall and take us with them. I'd follow love into extinction.
And so, as we close, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, to take your teal hymnal and join in singing our closing hymn, number 1064, Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all ye kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me. Hail the great winds urging me on. Reach the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again.
And so, as we go forth from this place, know that the sacredness of a Sunday, not unknown, but eternal, for we are all weak,